Other stuff about Magic School Bus is how, oh, Miss Frizzle's too pretty and too beautiful. It's crazy the way we're living in this upside down matrix paradigm B system shit. Okay, you already know I'm in a truth to music. You know about the Freemason shit and all Satanist occultic crap and globalist New World Order shit. And you already know I'm deep in that. Well, not a part of it, obviously, because I was. Wouldn't be living in this small house. But anyways, now there's that. And I guess a couple other things from typical Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony news. I know the other big things coming tomorrow, so you're probably going to see this tomorrow instead of today, which is Saturday night. Probably see this on Sunday, which I rarely ever do videos on Saturday or Sunday, but now those 2 days will probably be the typical Monday through Friday thing. So there's that. And I looked on the Reddit thing, like, yeah, I don't know if her real life name was Katie or Julia, or no offense to anyone that lives in the UK or Scotland Island, because I think that's where she was born and raised on. She might have a stereotype British name, I don't know. But yeah, 3, 2, 1, let's get in. I put it a little bit faster. I should have put it faster. No, I didn't. So yeah, let's see what this chick has to say. I don't know if I was a little bit too harsh on that chick last time. Her versus the whole creep show art thing that happened almost 4 months ago. It was a while back. I'm not saying Shannon's an angel. Just sometimes, I'm not going to say she's a little bit of an annoying little bratty bitch or anything, but sometimes she kind of is. Miss Shannon creep show art. And then a couple other people, I don't know, I would say dogpiled her and rammed on her. There's a few videos I'll still watch from creep show art occasionally. Other times she just sounds like she likes to play the victim sometimes. And she gets a little bit fucked up and paranoid in the freaking cranium, man. I'm saying, and there's other times, yeah, I'll agree with her on certain topics here and there. And, you know, hey, she calls shit out. Hey, that's great, but and she's doing it for her own personal benefits, like this parasocial relationship sort of thing. Like, we stay on this, we stay on that. Like, fuck everyone else. Fuck you, fuck that. Like, and it's cool. Sometimes she does come off as a brat. And that's the side I kind of like about that chick sometimes. But it is what it is. Everyone's their own damn person. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. There we go. It's going to be a little bit faster, too.
Hello everyone, this is Hopeless Peaches. I've been taking some time off at the request of my friends and counsellor to step back and assess how I've acted and to take care of my mental state. I've taken that advice to heart and I've stepped back for a couple months. In the meantime, I've been trialling other medication, been in therapy, had a few bumps here and there, but...
Totally forgot. I was going to show this off a little bit, and I still probably showed more in my Final Fantasy thing, but I finally got this bad boy. I told you I've been wanting it for a while, and I freaking got it. I've actually wanted way more than 1 year. I was probably going to say this, which you guys are probably watching Sunday by the time you guys see it, but doing it a day earlier by the time I'm recording this. But what's going on? Oh, this little Boba Fett thing, too. Just freaking kick ass. Even though some of the Star Wars series has gone to crap, it's still nice.
Overall, on the trajectory to improvement. With a clear ahead, I hope to be able to rectify the errors in my previous response. First and foremost, before getting into my side of everything, I wish to apologise and make sure everyone knows I'm not coming into this with ill intent or to pretend I'm without fault. I would have done this later into the video, considering I've had this apology public since the beginning of February. However, that was overlooked by the community, and I don't want this one to be overlooked or missed either. So, apologies if that means the video is slightly backwards. I believe that putting this at the forefront is of more importance than chronology in this case. So, anyway, to creep show art...
Man, she could be chronologically right or wrong she wants. I know a lot of people were crapping on shit because before I started doing this reaction commentary video, I looked at some of the comments. Some people said, oh, I'm sorry you did this, sorry I said this about you and that about you. Literally, it's like virtual high school all over again. Not even the one that happened with the Platinum scam thing that's still going on now. I'm not even going to talk about any of that, but people are just dogpiling that shit. But no, I guess the art drama community, some of them are just full of snakes, man. Some are pieces of garbage motherfuckers that are never going to learn their lesson. And other ones, hey, man, they might change to be a good person, but then you got the whole cancel culture thing. They want to cancel all these freaking people. Who knows? I want to say what she says about the chick Shannon. I know some people really, really love her, and others say really, really hate this chick. They want her gone, like literally, like in dirt, dealt with sort of thing. If you catch my drift, because I can't say that word on YouTube.
I apologise for soft blocking you after the Jacqueline Hill video. We had our differences, but we were friends, and I shouldn't have made subtweets about the situation. I understand why that would have hurt you, and it was stupid of me to do that. I'm sorry. To Camilla Cuevas, I'm sorry for my amino post on you 3 years ago. I let my emotions rule me and took the word of others without doing the proper research. I didn't consider the effects it might have on your well-being or career, and I'm sorry for that. It was reckless, and I hurt you. To Omnia, I can't say much more than what was in my November community post without coming across as disingenuous, but I can apologise that I mentioned my mental health in that post when
You guys can read all that stuff. I'm not going to keep reading those screenshots over and over. We'll be here 2 hours if I do that.
should have made a clearer distinction or spoke about Luke's claims more separately. I can fully understand you taking it as me trying to garner sympathy. That was not the intent, and I still do mean that apology. I hope you all know that I'm coming into this video to meet you halfway. I wish to say my side of things by taking accountability for my mistakes while also defending myself against the false accusations and the unfair treatment I've received. In my last video about this, I messed up with the structure of the video, merging areas of agreement with areas of defense, which meant that my apologies sounded disingenuous and my defense was wishy-washy. With that aside, please just hear me out. While there is evidence out there for one side, there is also evidence for my side, so let's begin.
Ah, this fool.
Numerous channels have already called out Prismate Luke for this, so I don't see a point in treading on their toes.
I already talked about... Well, actually, no, I haven't talked about that dude Prismate Luke for a bunch of... And a lot of the hardcore commentary channels are like... I'm not going to say they shit on each other. Sometimes they'll take sides left and right. They'll be best buddies occasionally. It's crazy. Like, this, even know what the hell this paranormal relationship, sort of like psychosis, sort of mental... subconsciousness, sort of like mentally, like, personality shit even came from. I just heard about it last year, but... I heard about it a few times. I guess it's when they only try to be friends with people on the internet. Even though I really have no idea what the fuck they are. Even though I've said this a few times. I never know a specific word or topic for that. If that's a real thing, hey, it is what it is. I think a lot of the female and beauty guru channels, they do it way, way more than a lot of other commentary channels do. Or even just other different divisions. And I'm not saying the people that do Let's Plays and people on Twitch, they don't do it either. They probably do it a bunch too. They're probably guilty of shit for that because they want the money. They want the profit in your freaking pocket. That's what they want at the end of the day. Luckily for me, I don't do that. Listen, I don't do this for a full-time IRL job. There's no way in hell I'll be able to do it for an IRL job. It's impossible. I still got some IRL shit, thank God. I haven't kicked out yet because I didn't take the you-know-what, those jabs. Let's move on.
To not beat a dead horse, I shall keep this as...
As far as the Prismate Luke thing, I don't really feel like talking about that dude. It's just more drama and demons just spewing at each other. It's like one drama topic after another after another. It's like literally a house of cards just going to fall all over the place at the end.
Brief as I can. This drama did not begin elsewhere, as many people claim. People tend to, at least from what I've seen, downplay Luke's involvement with this drama, but to pretend like he was a third party joining into this at a later date would be truly disingenuous. Luke was the one who brought my criticism to the public with Creepshow Art, and at the time of writing this, neither have addressed the issues within this first video where Luke states publicly I faked a suicide attempt for sympathy. On November 6th, Prismate Luke made the video Why is the Toby Drama Still Going On, in which he criticises Just the Robots video on the situation. I have no comment on the rest of this video. However, at the 20-minute mark, Luke begins to speak about me directly, purely spurred on by me sympathising with Nornie's comment. In this video, Luke uses a tweet I made on October 24th where I say, I think I'm just about done, goodbye. And he uses it as proof that I was suicide baiting and faking a mental breakdown for sympathy.
Oh, I remember when all that drama spilled, man. Everyone, they freaking went at this chick's throat the second they did that, man. Oh, she was like self-deleting baiting. No, she was gonna harm herself really, really bad if she did this and that like 6-7 times. Oh, man, but seeing in the edge, I'm not gonna lie. It's literally like some middle school, high school drama shit all over. And I used to see this all the freaking time. Even like my last few years of high school, way back in the day. Some people say, oh, I'm going to take my own life. I'm taking myself out because nobody loves me. Type of just, no offense to anyone in the, well, not even blacks and Latinos and Asians, but I mainly saw this from a lot more white kids than I saw for like the black, Latino, and Asian like communities. I'm not even going to talk about the stuff with the Asian community that's going on. And it's a huge ass freaking like BS, fake political BS thing that's happening to them. And it sucks because I remember even back in the days, and I'm trying to go too off topic, I had like one of my Asian friends, most of them they're like the Filipino ones. Once in a while they'd be like Chinese, and then one was Korean, South Korean. And oh man, he used to get bullied and picked on so much because he had like a problem that, I'm not gonna say the dude's name. Actually, no, I could say his name, but like, just call him Matty or something, even though that's not his real name. Yeah, he used to get picked on a lot because he had like a little bit of a disability where he would walk a little bit funky, like bow-legged sort of thing. Kind of sucked, man. I felt bad for him. I knew him for a while, too. Heart went out to him real hard, man, because he struggled with a lot of problems. But, yeah, he was bilingual. A lot more than I was. Yeah, as far as this goes, yeah, that's messed up to be, like, playing with people's lives like that. And the doxing thing, I don't agree with that shit at all. It's fucked up. Let's continue. Oh, let's continue now.
To hide from criticism I received on October 6th. Put a pin in that for a moment. November 8th, I messaged Luke to give my feelings on his accusations. I apologised to him also if any of my wording was bad due to me just being generally anxious. November 10th, Luke responded after my public response to his accusations was retweeted by Toby Majestic, or at least just coincidentally soon afterwards. In these DMs, he comes across as defensive, and he uses the fact that I publicly apologised to Omnia as a shield. Put a pin in that too. On December 1st, after the last conversation went south, I hoped that, considering it was a few weeks later and the Toby drama was settled down, I would be able to speak to Luke properly. No response. The very next day, December 2nd, Luke made his video, Stop Lying Peaches, in which he states I was lying about his claims of me sympathy baiting, see how that changes, and how I have been claiming he wished I committed suicide. Luke also frames the DM conversation on November 8th through to 10th as me being an aggressor, despite the DMs in their full context showing the near opposite. I mean, I don't need to give a breakdown on this whole video too much because Just Stop's video and Spoctor's video both go into how ridiculous this first video is, as well as many others. Instead, I'll go on to what I wish to say. Apologies do not nullify criticism against others. One thing I've noticed with both Luke and the other players in this drama is that
I don't know if I agree with that or not, because some people can have grudges and real negative, like, evil intentions of not doing something to people, but, like, have feelings towards that other person. And they're not really going to give a shit about them. They're going to hate them for the rest of their life, even after they hit the grave. And they'll never have no forgiveness. So it's not always going to nullify or just clear certain issues of criticism and all these other sort of, like, I don't know, problematic bullshit that they're going to spew out at that other person, if that even makes sense, which I doubt it. I think I'm not a therapist or psychologist. People write all these scripts down before they do that. I don't. I just go off the, not emotional baiting or anything like that, but like, it's thoughts, views, and opinions. Lots of fun.
hide behind the fact I have things to apologise for, or apologies I've already made, and hold them at ransom. If you apologise, you can't criticise us. No, that's not how this works. Luke, I can stand behind my apology to Omnia, know I did wrong in that situation, and still call you out on the criticisms I have with you. You are not Omnia, and to be honest, even if you were, I would still call you out if you believe an appropriate response to a disagreement in a comment section, no matter who's in the wrong, is to go onto a platform.
It doesn't matter who calls out who, man. At the end of the day, almost everybody on this planet is always going to be guilty of something, no matter what, man. I'm not trying to get into a whole religious thing, but every single human being, regardless of even if they're atheist or not, like, everyone's still going to be born into sin no matter what, man. It's just your own life. You have to change. Either for the better, and hopefully it's not for the worse. Just saying.
Form 140,000 strong and call me a suicide baiter and faking an attempt to hide from criticism. Criticism I received nearly a month prior, by the way. You claim you don't know me.
I didn't say if it was the constructive style criticism or was it harshly baited, like drama for YouTube sort of like criticism. I don't know. It could be a whole bunch of different versions of that word. I learned that at a very young age, at 19, 20, 20 years old at the time. And man, I use that shit ever since.
Going off what you do know, yet a commentary channel would go out of their way to get solid evidence before making such claims. Just Stop, for instance, reached out to Manga Comment for his testimony as someone who is close to me and was there that day. You can't use that as a shield.
Hey there, hi there, I'm Manga Comment, nice to meet you. Peaches asked...
Oh, yeah. I watched this dude a couple of times here and there. I remember that other fool, and Carol Hay and maybe the fools from Clownfish TV talked about it a few times. I remember even 3 or 4 years ago. I think the first time I heard him was before I subscribed to him, like 2 months ago. So I knew about him a while back. I think he crapped on people. I don't know if it was in the Brony community or it was like people in the Pokemon community. I think it was something about these older like tubers like Game Boy Luke and this other dude. I don't know if it was True Green Sever and Toby dude. I don't know. It's a lot of older Poke-tubers at the time. So I remember I heard of this fool before. He's here. I didn't know that.
To talk about a few things, and here I am. So when this whole drama was going down with...
Some of this stuff is really, really funny and shit too. I know he has like... I know he did a few anime episode reviews for like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and I think Hello Boss too. So he's very, very decent.
Which is, I was getting off work, I was tired, I was about to go to bed when I got a message from her. She seemed distraught, and when she said that she was considering doing some very nasty things to herself, I just said, you know, this is serious, I need to talk to her before something bad happens. So I did. And I spent the entire night talking to her. We just basically did some stupid things talking about us. We talked about our first videos. We made fun of each other for it, especially when my first video was a sing-along to a Kamen Rider song set to My Little Pony images that I drew that looked bad. You won't be able to find that video. I deleted. But yeah, honestly, I felt like that Peaches was going to do something bad. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can understand what that bad thing is. Peaches is my friend, and I don't want anything bad to happen to her. Losing a night of sleep is a small price to pay to make sure someone doesn't hurt themselves. And honestly, it's kind of disgusting that people would think that this is just an act or that this is a lie. As someone who has had to deal with suicidal people before, who's spent time and time again talking to them, it's honestly kind of disgusting to see this kind of behavior, if you ask me. But hey, that's just me, and I'm an idiot on the internet, so what do I know?
The dictionary describes baiting someone as to intentionally make a person angry by saying or doing things to annoy them. In this case, suicide baiting would be trying to provoke a known suicidal individual into taking their own life by means of going out of one's way to cause extreme negative emotion and or distress. Not only do you make a bold claim about my suicide attempt, but you didn't even use the correct term. I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe you did this whole drama with the intent of suicide baiting. I really don't believe this, and I don't wish to make or support that claim at all. I think you made this claim out of ignorance. However, this doesn't change the fact both you and Shannon never have denounced these claims, despite standing behind them and using them as a springboard for bringing out private or old spats to the public. Private spats I already tried to reach out and sort out in private, by the way. So, I will present to both you and Shannon why these claims were faulty to start all this drama to begin with, so you can prevent unintentionally being ableist in the future. Myth. People who say they're going to take their own life are just
I'm sorry about that stuff. Anything with the isms and s and faux sort of like stuff, that's like starting to make it sound like it's a tiny bit political, man. It's not really just about her anymore. It's about, oh man, but the whole S word, man. I wish I could say the whole word, but I don't want to get no copyright strikes on it. So, it is a serious ass thing. Even back in the days, elementary, middle school, like there's times that I didn't even want to freaking live around anymore. And those a lot more different issues because I was like physically not cyberbullied, but like legitimately physically bullied, and it sucked a lot of ass. And yeah, that was not a fun time. Those other good times I had too. Back in the days when, you know, used to hang out with a lot of them, mainly with my cousins, because I didn't really have a lot of IRL friends at that time either. It's another thing that contributed big time for kind of wanted me to not live anymore, unfortunately. But thank God I don't deal with that anymore. Let's continue.
attention seeking and shouldn't be taken seriously. Fact. People who say they want to end their lives should always be taken seriously. It may well be that they want attention in the sense of calling out for help, and helping them get support may save their life. Myth. People who talk about suicide aren't serious and won't go through with it. Fact. People who kill themselves have often told people that they do not feel that their life is worth living, or that they have no future. Some may have actually gone out to say that they want to die. It's possible that someone may talk about suicide as a way of getting attention, in the sense of calling out for help. It's important to always take someone seriously if they talk about feeling suicidal. Helping them get the support they need could save their life. Luke, including those creators who have also been supportive of Luke, fail to see the more serious implications and issues with this narrative. Luke and Shannon have both been pushing the narrative that I was lying about wishing to kill myself in order to garner sympathy online. This is irresponsible to support this, as it can spread this mentality to your audience. Making those posts were irrational, I know, but mental health itself can be irrational, and they were my genuine cries for help that got answered, and that answer saved my life. Okay. I know it's not a good habit of mine to vent my problems online. I know. What I'm saying is that mental health issues, when they...
No, as long as they're not giving their own personal, like, real-life information about your life, like a certain YouTuber did. I know he's gone now. That guy's not making videos anymore. And if any people don't know who I'm talking about, it's just, obviously the dude's name starts with an O. And then he had a lot of, like, shitload of people already talked about him already. A ginormous group of people already talked about him so many times. Well, it's not even right. Just said the dude Chris Hansen went over to his house, and time you hear that word Chris Hansen, you know what I'm talking about now. And then you had to, man. You know, that dude, he ended up being a scumbag piece of crap, which I'm not surprised. Even if he was working people FBI, CIA, NSA. My personal opinion, you know, sometimes I could be anti-government with that shit. Because, my opinion, a lot of them are, in my opinion, is only my personal opinion, but I feel like most of them worship a lot of Luciferian Satanism shit. That's just how I see it. I know some people are going to hate that, but it is what it is. But if I have any of my subscribers or viewers, sorry if they don't like that, but it's just my viewpoint of how I see certain things. And as far as that goes, you know, man. There's just a lot of BS crap that they want to pull off with this garbage shit, man. It's disgusting. Really, really disgusting. That dude, I don't think he's ever probably going to go to prison, but if he does, it sucks because he has 2 kids already in there. I don't know how they do over there in Washington, but eventually karma's going to smack his shit in the ass real bad.
take over, make us do very irrational things. During a crisis, it is extremely difficult to stop your mental illness controlling your behavior as much as you want to be able to control that. People have been asking you to fix this narrative that you started, myself included, and you haven't. At this point, you can't hide behind the excuse of ignorance. You made the claims out of ignorance, sure, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there, but you don't correct them because of pride and malice. Moving on.
This joke.
Creepshow Art joined the drama supporting Luke's video on December 2nd by adding her own testimony, then reaffirming her support for Luke's videos in various comment sections and her second video on the subject. I watched both Shannon's video made on December 7th, as well as Luke's video on December 2nd, and for at least Shannon's accusations, they share pretty much the same story, bar some changes here and there, and the same consistent evidence. Little, if any, at all. Shannon claims I was using her for views and subscriber growth, and was jealous of her, then goes on to claim how I got angry at her when her video did—
Oh, yeah. So I think I remember it was in my video saying, oh, man, and this girl's a drama attention whore. She's used to getting all this shit for clicks and views. Not about what Hopeless Peaches was talking about it compared to this one. Now I'm doing. And a lot of shit happens almost 3.5 months later, isn't it? This time just speeds up like nothing, man. Sometimes.
Not do well being aired on her channel, and then proceeded to gaslight her into believing she was the one who was angry. This story changes on your retellings, however, to me instead bad-mouthing Daft Peanut.
But she went on to spiel about how Daft Peanut, yes, Daft Peanut, the YouTuber, had told her that the video had, quote, ruined my channel, and that I was probably mad at her for doing that. She told me that Daft Peanut did a channel review for her, and he stated outright that I was probably very angry because she, quote, destroyed my channel. Now, fun fact, this made me, for a period of time, really not like Daft Peanut, because that's kind of a fucked up thing to say to someone. But later on, I realized that I was talking to someone who just lies, like it's not a big deal. So, do I think he went on a tirade the way Peaches said he did about how her video was the worst thing to ever happen to my channel and that I probably hate her now? Probably not. Did he probably objectively say that the video didn't do well at most? Sure.
She would insist I copied her content, that I used her.
Yeah, I was speeding it up, bro, baby. It's, sometimes, that chick. And I'm not say she gets under my skin, but other times, wow. She's just a little paranoid as fuck. I understand most of her freaking audience are probably mainly little teenage girls that are gonna, like, I'm not gonna say they all completely kiss her ass virtually, but they're gonna agree with almost every single little thing that she says. And to me, that's some MK Ultra brainwashing mind control shit to me personally. I don't like that shit if people do end up doing that. But look at the people that are over 1 million plus subscribers. Some of them, they like doing it, but there's other people that are 1 million plus subscribers. They say that's just their one only personalized opinion. They don't have to agree with them. And you know what? I got respect and loyalty for people that do that, but let's move on.
I ruined her reputation within the community, and the final big claim. After her Jaclyn Hill video she made on March 3rd of 2020, I blocked her and began slandering her name, spreading her personal information, sent waves of people to attack and harass her, and pushed Toby Majestic into making a slanderous video about her. This story changes a lot between retellings too. Shannon has not shown proof for a single one of her claims regarding herself outside of the claims I have already agreed with her to be true. The claims that are true, I soft-blocked Shannon and I made 2 tweets about it. A lot of Shannon's other claims are more just ad hominem, which leads me to feel there was little to no good faith here, which, if intentional or not, does not sit right with me considering these are supposed to be scripted videos that have been written, checked, recorded, and edited. How do such character attacks go through—
That's all the real big YouTubers, even the people that are thousands plus subscribers, like, yeah, all they do in their edits and scripts, and sometimes they pay other people to do it. I'll never ever do that in a billionaires, because you're always going to hear the off the rails, not emotional charge, sort of like reaction videos from me, but sometimes you'll get the realness out of me. You're not going to see no fake bullshit out here, just saying.
so many checks and still not get picked up on or changed? I do not know. Shannon, as well as Luke, uses a lot of ad hominem to attack my character instead of presenting their side of the situation calmly with the facts and evidence they have. This is a means of discrediting me before I could even speak my side, whether that was a defense or an apology. Claiming I am scummy, jealous, a clout chaser, manipulative, a liar, all of this isn't criticism, it's an attack, an ad hominem. This use of ad hominem is most egregious in Shannon's second video on me made on February 3rd. In this video, Shannon reacts to a Google document made by SpyV and Scritus, who did an excellent job responding to her, by the way, on February 16th. So I shall refrain from treading on their toes and link them below, as it was their document Shannon was responding to in the first place. Without any reason to believe it, Shannon automatically assumes I was the one who created the document and insinuates Mark and Carbon had a role, and proceeds to throw insults at not just even me, but other people, despite neither of us having any editing access nor seeing it before it was done. Manga Common's only involvement in this previously, at least to the point of February 3rd, was giving testimony for Just Stop's video about how I was not lying about my mental health crisis. The fact that you needed to somehow discredit him just for that, I don't know why you would need to, and the fact that you proceeded to call me racist, insinuate Carmen as sexist, and all of us as snakes, on an assumption you had—
I didn't even hear about them being going, oh, they're racist. They're being sexist to all these other things. And like, I didn't know they were throwing crap at her. I didn't even hear about this other fool, Just Stop. I've never heard of them before. This is one of these controversial hardcore commentary channels that was just like spewing in the moment of drama and all that, which it's pretty fucking sad for some people to do that. But thank God, once again, this ain't my full-time job, so I ain't got to worry about doing any of that. Like, catering subscribers, follow me on Patreon, follow me on, and I understand why some people use Patreon or Subscribestar or PayPal. And hey, some of them are probably super humble-ass people, and then there's others. One of the scumbag pieces of garbage on the planet. That's just how I see it. Well, let's move on. I didn't even know those allegations are being called any of those fucked up words. Nowadays, they're just used all over Twitter like it's no big thing. They took out the serious out of it. Especially the pedo word, too. It's real bad.
With no proof. Shannon, I'm worried about you for this. You've repeatedly shown that you jump to conclusions without having proper evidence to make those conclusions. It's reckless, and you need to stop.
And high-key a bit racist when we can...
Yeah, I'm going to fast forward a lot more faster here. I'm just saying. Just put in... If you guys want to see the real video, I'll try to put it down below.
To what you try to pull with Kai and Anya. I mean, you have to be the white girl victim to the angry black woman and black man, right?
Shannon, did you just call me racist because I had a disagreement with
Oh, she did, probably.
Yeah, I hope you realize this reflects poorly on you, right? Stop diluting the term racist. It's crying for wolf at best and damaging at its worst. You've been criticized for your white savior complex before now, and it seems you've yet to take that criticism to heart.
Seeing as apparently they have access to the entire conversation.
I gotta keep fast forwarding, man. Because I already seen this stuff before, too, so it's not a real reaction. If I already checked this out. Ooh. I already checked this out myself, friends. Let's move on. Alright, hold on.
Scripted videos that have been written, checked, recorded, and edited. How do such character attacks go through so... Shannon, I'm worried about you for this. You've repeatedly shown that you jump to conclusions without having proper evidence to make those conclusions. It's reckless, and you need to stop.
And high-key a bit racist when we get into what you try to pull with Kai and Anya. I mean, you have to be the white girl victim to the angry black woman and black man, right?
Shannon, did you just call me racist because I had a disagreement with Omnia? I hope you realize this reflects poorly on you, right? Stop diluting the term racist. It's crying for wolf at best and damaging at its worst. You've been criticized for your white savior complex before now, and it seems you've yet to take that criticism to heart.
Seeing as apparently they have access to the entire conversation, but I guess not. It also makes me feel entirely weird that all of these people have seen my private phone number, so that's fun. I love that.
Another conclusion you jump into without any evidence is that Spy and Scritters and others have seen your phone number. There's plenty of other reasonable possibilities you could have considered, but you state yours like it's a fact of life, and that's been an issue with you this whole drama. You make these incredibly reckless claims about people without first checking to see if it's true or not. Claiming I doxed your phone number to the writers of the document is not okay, and it's very dangerous. I came to you in an email about this, privately, and instead of realizing that you did this, you instead held on tighter and made a pinned comment about it, as though it makes me an even worse person to somehow not want to be labelled as a doxer. But if you would so easily slander somebody to this extent, purely for a character attack and emotional bait, I have to say, it makes me really question the validity of your claim that all of this was spurred on by rumours you heard about me, and not just you blowing up my subtweets about you out of proportion, as you have yet, 3 months later, to still prove that these were even rumours in the first place, never mind me actually doing it. In your response to Toby, before ever even speaking to Toby, by the way, who's your alleged main source to go off of your latest accounts, you're already stating I was spreading your personal information around to creators. At that point, the person soft blocked me and blocked me on their second account, and they also went so far as to remove the video they had previously made about me from their channel. And I shared a lot of private information with them because I trusted them. So knowing they are now telling other content creators about our private conversations, and they're talking to other content creators about me in this way, and are scared of me, they want nothing to do with you, and tells people about the things you've said to them privately that you trusted them with. I get it. You didn't name me then, so it was easier to manipulate the narrative for some emotional story in response to the criticism you were receiving to get the audience to sympathize with you when you're being criticized for your misleading content. But since then, you have named me, and it seems like you're holding on to the exaggerated caricature you made of me back in your response to Toby instead of admitting you grossly exaggerated it. Speaking of Toby is Shannon's only identified source of information, despite still not showing evidence that Toby even said any of this. Shannon has claimed Toby was the one to tell her all of this, yet when Toby spoke out against these claims, Shannon then goes on to spend much of her video on February 3rd to tell her audience what an untrustworthy source of information Toby is. Well, hang on. She's a trustworthy source when it comes to rumors about me, but not when she disagrees with your conclusion? How does that make any sense?
You know, it really baffles me how much fabrication is being snipped and then...
Okay. I didn't hear anything about this with Toby situations. I've heard a little bit, tiny sprinkle bits of this drum, but I never followed up into it. Let's move on.
back together and how many people are buying it. The fact that Creepshow Art has a delusion that she can tell a blatant lie about the production of my Creepshow Art video and the hand that Hopeless Peaches did not have a fucking hand in, and that I wouldn't come out of the woodwork and tell her that that's a lie, it really baffles me. No, Hopeless Peaches did not have any hand in the idea or the production of my Vaults of Creepshow Art video that I had made and I had posted mid-2020. Hopeless Peaches was one of many creators that I had reached out to for their thoughts and their inputs on Shannon and her channel. She gave me a similar response as everybody else that I had asked had done. Once I was done with my video, I posted it unlisted and sent a link to many creators I was close to at the time, One of these I did also give to Peaches. However, I also gave it to 10 other creators before I even gave it to her. I told you about this months ago because after you lost your actual marbles over the fact that some person in my video where I said, I asked 2 other creators and they said you brushed them off. You took that small part and ran fucking summer with it because you went actually fucking crazy and took it as a personal offense, which is being blown out of proportion. And I told you this.
Yeah, I'm not surprised she ended up doing that shit, man. That kid, the creep show art trick. She blows a lot of shit out of proportion. I ain't shocked about it at all. And then she still does do it for entertainment for a certain extent. You know, if there's some super serious, real fucked in the head topics she has to talk about sometimes. I'm not saying she's a super fucked up evil person for doing that, but at the same time, you know, nobody knows any of these people IRL, man, honestly. Somebody have a real fucked up, shady skeletons in their closet, man. It's real bad. I'm not saying I don't need it, because I know I probably would have had a bunch, but all that shit's way deleted now.
In DMs, the day that you posted that, no, that's not what was going on. This is not what actually happened. And no, nobody helped me with that video. I said that to you in DMs the day you posted your response video. So you know that this is false because I fucking told you months ago.
The only proof Shannon uses against me is a heavily censored conversation of 2 unknown individuals claiming they don't trust what Shannon was saying about me. I have no idea who these people are, what the context of this conversation is about, and how I have control over what these people say or do. The only thing this screenshot proves, to me at least, is that I was the one being talked about behind my back. And you can tell it's a rumour because it's based off what someone else said, what someone else said, what someone else said. You see the problem here? It's gossip, not evidence. And yet, when Spivey shares the conversation I had with her about you, and it paints another narrative entirely, you shrug it off as me being inconsistent. That's not how this works, Shannon. I can criticize you to my friends. You're not only an ex-friend of mine, but also a content creator who at the time was spreading misinformation and acting out online. And after that was then spreading misinformation about me. I wasn't lying about you. I wasn't smearing you. I was concerned for you. If me privately criticizing your behavior is somehow an attack and smearing your name, you can't then make all of this public drama with me and say it isn't one. You keep claiming you saw me as a little sister, and yet, when I tried to reach out to you way back on June 11th of 2020 to sort out the misunderstandings and claims you made against me, you ignored me and continued to peddle the narrative I was just some crazy ex-friend who wanted to ruin you. More importantly, though, if there were rumors floating around that I was slandering you or talking bad about you, you should have come to me. I already offered an olive branch, because outside of those 2 tweets that I know I should have not have made...
First time I ever heard that expression, the olive branch. What is that? Well, it's in British UK, so I guess I don't know.
And I apologise for that. I never did anything to try and harm you or make other people dislike you. Hell, I sung your praises quite a lot, and I still do, to the dismay of my friends. If we had our disagreements, I didn't dislike you or want you to be hurt. You, even more importantly though, and the thing that upsets me the most, is that you should have been a lot more aware of how slanderous and wrong the claims Luke made against me were. You know my condition, you know how I am, you claim you love me as a sister you would never wish harm, and yet, instead of talking to me in June when I reached out, you jumped on me and added your credibility as a good friend to claims of me faking suicide and labeling me as just a jealous, clout-chasing manipulator. For what? Rumours you had no proof for? If that's how you treat people you love, I'm glad you don't hate me.
Oh, here it is. It's right around the part here where I almost dropped the freaking damn phone. I was a bitch. I don't know if I'm gonna edit that out, we'll see.
Camilla joined the drama by commenting on Luke's first video on me on December 2nd, and later supported by Shannon in her video on December 7th, detailing how back in February of 2018, I lied about her selling a collaboration we did without consent.
I don't know anything was going on this in 2018 in February. I wasn't even following any of this drama art shit that was happening. I didn't even know about it till like very almost at the end of last year. When I first started hearing about it.
And how I bullied her so much I pushed her into hospital. She would initially show only flimsy evidence of the proof of lying about selling the art, substantial evidence of me claiming I received no credit, and no evidence of her being bullied. After Spoctor's video on January 5th, Camilla would then update her claims to have proof of this bullying on the same day as the response to Spoctor's criticism. However, it ranges from anywhere from taking the worst possible interpretation, as with this screenshot, where she twists the wording to mean I want admin control of DMs, I don't understand the context of the situation, to malicious twisting of the situation, such as this screenshot where I'm mocking myself, as proven here, and she claims I'm bullying her, to outright confusing ones that I have no idea about. Camilla, I will give you the benefit of the doubt here on some things, as these events took place 3 years ago now, and thus it is harder to remember details. I get that. Because of this, I went back and reread everything I could before responding and making claims, including finding our DM conversation from January 2018.
Oh, man, that's probably had to be a lot of old DMs she had to go through on that thing. I wonder it took her almost 3 months to do this again. Let's go on.
I would also like to remind everyone that this happened 3 years ago, so don't assume Camilla is the same person she was back then, because I sure as hell know I'm not. If I'm being told to apologise for my past actions, then I'm sure Camilla would likewise. Camilla claims I was her friend, however, reading our DM history, the only time I ever spoke to Camilla before she reached out to collaborate was November 19th of 2017, where I was reporting to her a situation on her amino. The next time we ever spoke was January 9th of 2018, where Camilla approached me for a collaboration after seeing my art on her amino. So, to clarify, we weren't friends, we were collaborators. Moving on to the actual situation at hand, though, Camilla came to me on January 9th to suggest we do a collaboration. She briefly mentioned selling the art, however, it is quickly dropped, and thus a forgotten idea, as it was never elaborated on, there was no talk of compensation, you get the drift. I'm not spoken to again until January 17th. Not much to note here. On January 21st, Camilla messages me to update on the fact that she's finished the collaboration. Now, January 24th is something I did forget, and is definitely worth mentioning, especially considering the timeline here, as Camilla has at this point already begun selling the collaboration we did as merch in her store, which she began selling January 22nd. I approached Camilla here as I wanted to follow up on the merch collaboration that she had briefly mentioned way back on January 9th, as I had no idea that the collaboration we had done was being sold, considering no compensation was ever discussed. Camilla had an ample opportunity here to mention how the collaboration we worked on was the one being sold, but she doesn't mention it. On February 2nd, I finally found out that Camilla was selling the collaboration without consent or compensation, 2 weeks after, not the next day as Camilla claims, and I came to her to ask about it. She was quite dismissive here, however, Camilla acknowledged she didn't ask for permission and told me that she would take it down. The next day, after I woke up, February 3rd, I saw the merch was still up in her store, with her moderator telling me that Camilla has been in trouble for selling collaborations in the past. This led me to making a very stupid and bad post about Camilla on my...
Yeah, see, I didn't know there's any proof or evidence of that shit happening. Nah, that's probably going to be up for debate there for certain people, I'm just saying.
Amino account. Honestly, I have to say, reading that post back upsets me quite a lot, as it's shocking how appalling I was about the whole thing. I honestly fully agree with Camilla on the fact that that was not the way to go at all. I took the post down and made an apology. Even back then, I felt ashamed with myself. Despite Camilla offering compensation, I knew I'd already fucked up enough that it was not necessary, so I declined. My first apology for Camilla was not taken well, as Camilla was stating that she had never even sold the collaboration, so she was quite passive-aggressive with my public apology, despite her already scolding me in DMs, and demanding I say publicly that she has never sold the art. That changed when people saw the art was still in the store. The latest account I could find of this merch still being in the store was March 31st of 2018. There could have been later accounts, however I'll go off what proof I have. Camilla, I find it very distressing how back in 2018 you...
I saw somebody else had that little dream logo thing on there, which I meant another big ass drama thing I was going on with that dude for the past couple of months, which said on his channel, even on my anime manga news and video game industry news, like articles, review stuff I do sometimes, like videos and stuff. I say I ain't touching any of those freaking drama things. I'm not touching that one, or the MJ Station one, or any of that. That's just pure drama, just to be for drama. It has nothing to do with gaming at all. Nothing to do with anime bullshit, period. Not going to go anywhere near it. Even if it would give me a lot more extra views and traction, it ain't worth it, man.
Continue to harass me, belittle me, lie about me, and actively go out of your way to try and ruin relationships I had with other creators, even though I tried again and again to apologise to you. I had no channel back then, besides a shitty dump of a channel with just AMVs and Procreate time-lapses. I had no voice.
I don't even think people still do AMVs. What? Even way back when I was in high school, they were just barely starting to do AMVs, aka Benny and the Normers or Sheep don't know them. It's like anime music videos. And that was way back in the old school times. I used to do original Naruto AMVs and I think Bleach a few times. That's fun.
To publicly berate me, then blame me when you got caught in a lie because you still didn't take down the merch as late as March. Yeah, it was distressing. You had a channel of nearly 700,000k and you were growing very fast during this time too. And you would demand apology after apology just to say it wasn't worth shit. You would send your moderators to tell me the only way you would leave me alone would be if I delete all my social media. Social media that, I have to stress, had no following. You would compare my actions to murder. You would allow your moderators to publicly wish I would die. And then, for you to come back 3 years later to actually make the claim I was a liar and bullied you so much I pushed you into hospital, after you went out of your way to mock my own mental health? What a horrible claim and weight to put on somebody. It is very hard to give you the benefit of the doubt that you never meant any of this in bad faith, but July 11th, 2018, 2.5 years ago, we spoke things out, and I apologized to you again. I never even demanded an apology back. I just wanted to say my apology and let the drama die. 2.5 years ago. So, why'd you bring it back? Because you watched Luke's video calling me a suicide beta? Because you still hold a grudge despite already taking an eye for an eye and everything else with it? I had apologized to you multiple times and distanced myself from you. I left the entire Undertale community for you. I don't know what else you expect.
Oh, yeah. I was reading all this Wikitubia stuff for, like, Wiki fandom about Hopeless Peaches. This used to be real big into the Undertale fandom. And again, this goes for literally almost every single fandom that's out there, man. And this has nothing to do with the Hopeless Peaches situation that happened. And I can't believe it's still going on now. You'd think it would have just been done and over with. Now it's still going. Yeah, she said she used to be real big in the Undertale fan. I'm like, I didn't really stick in any of the Reddit 4chan drama for that. Like I said, I heard a little bit, like, kept a little bit of my ear to the streets on the internet shit side of posting when it came to Undertale. There's a lot of crazy shit that went on in there, man. I think a little bit here and there. Actually, I think it was like my mid-late 20s at the time when Undertale was a real big-ass freaking thing. And Elsa Room came out, I think it was 2017 or 18. There was a lot of shit posting going on with them, man. Of course, there's a bunch of ships and stuff that were going on, too. Okay, you know, the relationships they wanted to put together with certain things. And it shows how old as fuck my age is. I never really did any of that shit. Because even when I was in middle school, high school, I don't know if it might have existed when I was in high school, but I just didn't know shit about it at the time. Let's go.
From me. Because all I can offer is an apology. I can't turn back time.
Oh, this chick, I think I've heard of her once or twice. But
Omnia joined this drama by initially supporting Luke's video on December 2nd, and then making 2 videos on December 7th and December 15th. Omnia initially goes over our spat during the Toby drama, one that was already publicly resolved, and claims the reason she wishes to reignite it is because she felt my apology to her was disingenuous, as I would later do the same thing to prison mate Luke.
And although she did apologize to me and Kai, she decided to go back on her word 2 days later and try to paint prison mate Luke as this guy who stalks her every move and wants her to off herself. It's disgusting and deplorable. You can't apologize to Kai and I, then immediately make the same mistake or similar mistakes with someone else.
Oh. I think I remember seeing a few of those videos before, but not a lot, because I'm not subbed to her. The Omnia chick. No offense to anyone that ends up hearing this shit. Because I know some of this bullshit mainstream media is like, oh, we could have said solidarity for black and brown people, like the BL+M thing, and like all this other shit. And she likes to have a lot of victimization on that shit, man. That's fucked up, too. I'm not going to say that the racism is not real. I can guarantee you for a fact, even my older channels, like my CGO9 channel, Chris is a guy, non-critical guy, Rosation Man. There was a few times where I was a lot more on the rails on certain things. And I think it was like once or twice I yelled at the top of my fucking lungs on this channel too. I was enraged on a few topics. Not gonna get too much into it. Yeah, there was a few times where I had like a few racist, fucked up moments, and I'm gonna just say, oh, just predominantly to white people. There's even a few here and there to like. No offense if any of them watching, like a few for the Middle Eastern people and a few Asians. Or like that. And that was fucked up, but it's true. So it's not just always, oh, it's the white people, all the Caucasians are fucking bad, evil, fucked up people. I don't know. There's just evil and good in every race ethnicity, man. It's just how it is. I'm not saying that it was, because there's a few times here and there, like, actually if you go into the real big suburbs out here, and not even just here in Vegas, it's probably like in every other city out there, and people look at you like you're garbage. Even during the pandemic scandemic, there's still some people that freaking hate your ass for how you fucking look like. I'm not going to say, oh, she's being a victim for that. And I know some African Americans and black people are with that shit. And I can understand and relate to a certain extent on that. Luckily for me, when it comes to like the law enforcement, I'm not going to get too much into that and the police officer stuff like that. It's a bitch. And some black people got to deal with that shit all the fucking time. That's a damn shame, but it's part of life, especially here in the U.S. My God. Look what happened last year, man. We can get into that. Half this country was like burned to the ground because of all the shit that went down. It's probably going to happen now, but this time with Asian Americans. I don't know. Let's continue. I'm not even going to get in that topic. Let's go back to the hopeless speeches thing again. And the Omnia chick, I don't know. Sometimes she just feels like she's playing the victim way too hard. Even though, yeah, she had a few tweets, I think, in one of her videos that hopeless speeches being a racist, but that could be edited really, really easy. I don't know.
Don't understand Omnia's point here, as I can only see her seeing me coming to Luke as an issue if she agreed with Luke's claims of me faking my suicide in the first place, which as far as I know, she doesn't agree with. Unfortunately, Omnia has shown a select few singular, disjointed messages from our DM conversations without the context surrounding it. I share the full context now because this conversation was already published. I know Omnia or someone else will claim I'm being a hypocrite, but no, even in these DMs here, you can tell my only issue with Omnia back then was sharing Toby's private story. I'm not sharing a private story here. Just like I said to Omnia, if there is no cut context, there's no need to go on the defensive. That was my whole argument. This time, as you can tell, there is a reason. Omnia, please stop doing this. I came to you in good faith back in September to criticize your behavior. Both you, Shannon, and Luke all seem to be quite aggressive towards criticism, even if it's in private, but if your content is dishing out criticism publicly, I don't see a need for aggression here. Finally, I wish to address the elephant in the room. Omnia, your thumbnail disgusts me. The fact that you claim that the art I made for trauma of mine just expresses your disappointment in me, I'm appalled. And no, Scritus only did it because...
I remember seeing that video. I'm gonna have to check that out after I'm doing this reaction commentary shit.
Pretending to be a terrible person, spilling the tea so he could give those people a mirror when they watched it for more than 5 minutes.
I hate it when these motherfuckers say, oh, they're gonna spill the tea, they're gonna spill the tea. Oh, God. That is just a bunch of fucking bullshit-ass toxic garbage trash. It goes from... I'm not saying everyone that's like that, but I've seen this a little bit here and there, snippets. The beauty guru community thing is even like, oh man, now we're shitting each other a bunch because of these 4 or 5 other people that are really, really big on other ships. Thank God I ain't a woman. Or if I was would have been an LGBTQI, then oh God, I probably would have been all into that freaking old tea, spilled tea. Oh God, that's so fucking cringy. I'm just thinking about it just makes me want to throw up real badly.
You use it because you want to spill some tea. You are the exact person Scritus was parodying. But, hey, I'm sure you know this. It really does hurt to know that somebody, even if they don't mean to, is just mocking real abuse that I've been through. Hello, Editing Peaches here, just to say that Omnia has since changed her thumbnail during the editing of this video. I would have cut this portion out entirely, however, judging from these tweets here that I will show on screen, it was not a decision made due to an understanding of an error. More, it comes across as just being taken down due to recent backlash. So I thought it was best to keep it in to clarify why this was bad so she understands so it doesn't happen in the future. Back to your normal programming.
Community. Let's see what they're gonna all say about this bitch.
Now that I've gone through the biggest players in the situation, I think it's time I address the community and their reaction. I honestly believe that the community and how they acted is debatably far worse than everyone I've previously mentioned. Hell, only a few days ago, I got this threat in my DMs by a creator who seems lovely in public. I'm actually at a loss for words that one of Shannon's sources completely denounces ever even saying that I spread rumours about her, and her other source is somebody who is actively threatening me in my DMs.
I have no idea who the Chick Santa aka Creepshow Art sources are, or any of these people's sources are. Whether it's made up or not. Yeah, sure, yeah, like Jesus knows if it's real or fake.
I'm not blaming you for this, Shannon, it's more just...
I'm not going to make any assumptions here, but I do want to say that I find it ironic and coincidental.
Alright, I gotta pause it, not pause it, but go a little bit quicker this time. I've already seen this one a lot of Creepshow Arts done before.
I mean that she deleted that Twitter after one of the creators she had told that I yelled at her tweeted positively about talking to me. Like the person who she straight up said that I screamed at her tweeted that they had a really nice long discussion about me, and then right after, she deleted it.
Minty, please, stop.
Okay, let's go back to normal almost.
A lot of people, Shannon and Luke included, would publicly state how the mob against me was somehow proof all in itself that I was a terrible person not to be trusted. Why would so many people hate someone who wasn't guilty? Am I right? D'Angelo Wallace even stated in the comments of my first response that I don't have to get the last...
I think for as far as the commentary, I don't know if he would be in the T-Spill side of commentary or like the hardcore drama stuff commentary. Because I heard of this man D'Angelo Wallace once or twice before. I don't follow the dude, but I've heard like a lot of freak ton people on YouTube. They I don't know what it is. People really like his content a lot. I don't know if he's as good as other dude. I just started watching like a week or two ago, like Asher show. But I don't know. Depends. Maybe he is a real super good commentator. I don't know.
Word. Sorry, what was I supposed to do? Not say anything and just accept that I'm a manipulative, lying suicide beta? Why can't I tell my side of the story and defend myself against claims that are clearly false? You did a deep dive on situations like mine before, but because Creepshow was involved, you decided not to look into it like everyone else. If even the king of commentary himself becomes a part of the mob, then what hope did me or my friends ever have in telling my side of the story? I know you can do better than this, but you let your bias get hold of you. This is just a microcosm of all the issues with the community I've faced during this ordeal. Creators who once seemed credible being a part of the mob, people omitting evidence they know they have, and a lot of people who rush out videos to then say they don't want to revisit the drama despite knowing they peddled falsehoods. I've had many creators on my contacts, and my email is public, yet nobody contacted me except one 16-year-old. It's been distressing to know that all it takes is one stupid claim, and everyone will pounce despite how much preaching they do to look at both sides. Finally, I wish to briefly talk about mental health. People can criticize me or fully dislike me for how I act. That is perfectly fine, as mental health is something we sufferers must take responsibility for. Hell, I've made a whole video about how people don't have to like me. I think it's pretty open that I don't need people to like me. However, the amount of stigma and ableism in this drama has been truly upsetting. I see a lot of people who are apparently mental health advocates just berate me in my experience just because they personally dislike me, with most making bold claims that I faked my illness or the severity of it. People such as Luke and Shannon go ahead and spread the narrative that just because someone's reaching out for help, they are suddenly not mentally ill, or not mentally ill how they should be. Mental health advocates became aggressors in this scenario by going onto platforms with little understanding to explain how my own struggles are less valid just because I'm going through a depressive episode and not hiding it for their convenience. Creepshow Art, Omnia, Kai, Pringy, you're all advocates for mental health, apparently, while simultaneously dismissing my experience, demonizing me, patronizing me, and I feel like I was being treated like an object more than a person. I hope in future this doesn't happen, and at least some people come out apologising, even if not to me, but to their fans, for this stupid performative activism and ableist agenda. And I hope some of you own up for your own mistakes.
But that's never going to happen. They're going to own up to their own shit. They don't want to be.
I wish to end this video by reaffirming that my apology towards Creepshow Art, Omnia, and Camilla Cuevas does not nullify the criticisms I have for them. Likewise, the criticisms I have for each of them do not nullify my apologies towards them. The bandwagon effect is a nasty one, and I understand. Shannon, Omnia, Kai, Luke, you're all friends, you want to support each other, I get that. But just like how you're all rightfully called out Toby's friend for dismissing her errors, you can't then enable your own friend's ableism and toxicity by jumping on a bandwagon you all know is unjustified just to deplatform a person you had a private issue with. At the end of the day, if you no longer agree with Luke's claims, then at this point, with how much you pushed the narrative, I think you should make that known to the public in some way that you no longer agree with it. Otherwise, you're only continuing to enable Luke's toxic behaviour. The past 3 months have been hell for me. So many people have participated in harassing me, mocking my grooming situation, people using it as damn clickbait, sending me death threats, rape threats, doxing threats, and so many more have treated me like I'm subhuman, like I'm a monster. And for what? That's why I implore you all to not harass anyone I've mentioned in this video, because I wouldn't wish this pain on my worst enemy, let alone a group of mean girls. My condition has worsened. I've had breakdown after breakdown. I've self-harmed. I've tried to...
I see this thing. I don't know if this part's true or not, because I remember they all said before, like, oh, I have real bad things. I have breakdown syndrome and, like, all this other, like, mentally, emotionally unstable, like, emotions. I get it. So, no offense to them. It's LGBTQ, like, everyone else wants to be like that, but that's all now. That's, like, really, like, I guess DNA-wise, even though I'm not, I ain't no near a fucking doctor or scientist or any of that shit. I don't have any, like, certifications, like, bachelor's, master's degree shit, for you be, like, breaking down somebody's, like, psychological sort of, like, mental shit to go through, problems and issues, but whether it's real or not, I don't know. They say she always liked to play the victim a lot. I'm not sure. And, like, mentally, in my personal opinion, I guess DNA, like, the real, like, gender-wise, like, what sex you are, man, it's just females, I don't know what it is, but sometimes they're going to get a lot more extra emotional compared to men. I'm not saying all men are, you know, hardcore stereotype macho men and shit. No, that's looks like it's starting to go away slowly. And I ain't no beefy-ass motherfucker, so I really don't give a shit about certain things, especially with sports, like football or basketball. Like, to me, that's just all brainwashing and culture garbage to me, personally. That sucks. I don't know if she's putting on a show at this point, or if she's being serious, and if she is being serious, man, that's a real kick in the nuts for me, man. That's sad as fuck, man. I should really got to get some actual help from somebody.
A few times now, It's been horrible. It's been the worst experience I've had with mental health in a very long time. I tell you the severity of it so you know just how disgusted I would be in this community if the same thing happened again to these people. It's fucking inhumane. And anyone who participates or just even allows it to happen, know that you're worse than me. So please, don't harass them, don't deplatform them, or treat them like monsters as I've been treated. Distance yourself if you must. I'm not going to tell you to not do that. I can't control you, but I can beg you, plead with you, to not send hate, because it needs to stop. I have one final note. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there's no part of me that's spiteful for everything these people have done. To pretend that isn't true would be disingenuous. I'm sure anyone in my position would be spiteful to some degree. However, I'd rather work on trying to forgive them, even if it takes a while.
Forgiveness is real hard
Because
to build that shit.
I want this community to grow, and I want the people in it to grow too, myself included. So, to you who's still watching this, let us learn from our mistakes. None of us are monsters, none of us are saints. We're human.
And off a powerful statement like that, I don't know. It's hard for me to believe half that shit. Yeah, so overall thoughts, using opinions. That was a lot of shit to take in. It really was. Like I said, I don't know if she's playing the victim or she's really like, even though they don't show their faces out around, but hey, they don't show their avatars. And then I didn't think it was her. I'm not sure because you don't always trust and believe everything the internet's gonna fucking say. Oh wow, almost 58 minutes. I'm just gonna end it almost here real quick, but I will say this: can't trust and believe every single thing the internet's gonna say, man. You can't, because if you did, and he'd be a gullible ass motherfucker. I'm just saying. But like I said, I'm not sure if she's putting on a show here, if she's being legit. And those other people like the dogpile attack other fools. Like, this is the way not even YouTube is. So a lot of social media networks usually are. One certain group's not gonna like another, they're gonna pounce on them like a freaking tiger versus a lion. I don't know, or a rooster fight thing. Which, fortunately, and luckily, I've never seen any of those. But I've seen documents of it. And I'm surprised I got like great cousins and uncles from Puerto Rico that probably participated a lot in those back in the day, which I don't even know of. I have no idea. As far as this chick Hopeless Peaches, I don't know whether she deserved all this hate or not. Hey, that's up in the air. I can't always trust all these motherfuckers to say this. So I'm not a saint, and you don't have any control. I will agree with her or not. You're not gonna force her, have me think a certain way of to plead, not even to plead, to have everything in agreement that all these people are gonna just bow down to you and take it easy to you and worship you like you're a fucking god. I'm just saying, living out there, but at the same time. Maybe her friends IRL, if she has on there, she should go to them for support. I'm just saying. That's all I gotta say for now. Peace out once again. Links down below as well. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, boys and fingers, doctors and commodities. I'll see you when I see you guys today, every night, wherever universe out there. So remember your conscious channel, including video game industry news, I am on news, internet news, reaction videos, and once in a while commentary series videos like this once in a while.